Okay, this is the interior plumbing and appliances video. We're starting at the back of the home. This is the primary bedroom suite bathroom. And we're in here and we're looking at the shower. I had it filled up with water here a little while ago. And it filled up pretty fast, so I was kind of curious to see how it drained. Coming in here and... Okay. That seems to be fine. This is the only escutcheon plate that I've seen. This is what an escutcheon plate is, for the sake of argument. Conversation. Electrical receptacle outlets. This is GFCI protected, and when they are GFCI protected, they're supposed to have a label on them. We come up underneath here, and we see that we do not have escutcheon plates. All right. There's some hidden way back yonder, but we do not have any operable, functional escutcheon plates. And these are no escutcheon plates at all, and from here on out there will be no escutcheon plates at all. So we do not have escutcheon plates, and I have a escutcheon plate, and look at this, we got a flexible connector. You're not supposed to take connectors through walls. Any kind of a connector like that. Okay, you're not supposed to take connectors through walls, and your plumbing connectors are not supposed to be corrugated like that. Okay, it's supposed to be self-cleaning. That's not self-cleaning. That is a clogged drain waiting to clog. It's waiting for its opportunity. Now, that operates the fan. Where do you think the fan vents? It vents into the attic. Oh dear. This operates the light. Yeah? What's your point, bud? Well, the light switch is supposed to be closest to the door, and the fan switch is supposed to be farther from the door. That's my point. That's my point. As we carry our way on in, we're going up into the hall bathroom. So we've got a small vanity in here, and you know, it's like the others. We do not have any escutcheon plates. We don't have any escutcheon plates. Look at that. Coming on along here. Do not have any escutcheon plates. And all four lavatories, hot's on the left, cold's on the right. Hot's on the left, cold's on the right. This GFCI operates all the GFCIs in the bathrooms. That switch operates the light. It's farthest from the door. This is supposed to be the light switch. Where do you think that fan vents to? It vents to the attic. Okay, so we come along here. We do not have an escutcheon plate for this commode. And this commode is too close to the wall. You've got all this space over here. If you're left-handed, you don't have a problem. You sit here. You know, you can swipe your iPad, you can read the newspaper, you can get to the paper, you know. But if you're right-handed, well, that's going to be kind of tight. That's going to be kind of tight. In this room, we have a bathtub and shower works and all that. Now, I didn't mention this in the other one, but I might as well save it all the best. These niches, they came in here and they tried to do a good job. They lined it up, and you know what? They tried to have a little bit of pride, and they cared so much to make this level. This is not supposed to be level. Your niches do not have pitches on them. You should have pitches on your niches so that the water drains off. Water doesn't just stay here. Water doesn't collect and go inside of it. You don't have to clean it as often. And also the water doesn't migrate into the wall. And this is where one of those windows are. You can see that with infrared. The heat comes through here. There's no insulation behind that. So, anyway, that's our interior. And while we're here, you know, might as well, because I'm going to get real quick with the interior video, no doubt. And coming along here, and then we do not have transition pieces between our doorways and our bathrooms. Do not have transition pieces between our doorways and our bathrooms. Okay. So moving on along, fireplace is an appliance. I have not remembered to bring a gas key in here to check. It's kind of interesting how this valve comes all the way out here. That's kind of rude. Depending on the manufacturer, then that hole should be sealed. The damper works. It draws its air from outside of the living space, from above the firebox. It's combustible air, so you and this fireplace are competing for the same air. If you can find the manufacturer's operation manual, I have seen some that read that they recommend cracking a window, not operating this without getting some fresh air in here. So there's that. And our trim piece is missing. And we do not have a hearth extension in front of the fireplace. So you shouldn't get close to this fireplace because it's going to be hot. And you come over here and the hearth extension, in case a log rolls out, it's going to burn up your floor. So you need a hearth extension to protect your floor. Oh, bud. But we're still going. This is the refrigerator nook, and it is not GFCI protected. This is our island. It is not GFCI protected. This is our kitchen sink. I have run the dishwasher, so that's kind of interesting. Oh, okay. Operator error. And you pull it to make hot water. This is our dishwasher. Looks like it's a recent installation. Coming up underneath here. This is our kitchen drain. Okay, we do not have pattern. This is a kitchen island. This looks like it might be for a pattern fitting, but I can't tell. Also, I cannot tell. You know, I think it should have had an air admittance valve. I really don't think it was plumbed for. I'm just not getting a. We've got vibes. I'm not getting a drainage pattern pipe vibe off of this. So I'm going to have to go with my instincts and my gut feeling. Over here, different sink manufacturers have different requirements, but the code says, and the manufacturer's installation instruction supersedes code. But the code says this should cascade down. You shouldn't have a little lip over here. It's called a foul line, F-O-U-L, hillbilly home inspection. That's how we say it, foul line. Okay, because that's where all the germs and the bacterium and the cooties and the viruses hide. So that's, and everybody else said just put some bleach on there. And I absolutely hate discounting my work, but I've yet to have a client call me back and just say, hey bud, thanks for that foul line. You did this solid there, man. Thanks for catching that. And maybe they did. Maybe I'm just a lonely guy. I want people to call me, but if it's important to you, that's not right. Speaking of kitchen sinks, speaking of manufacturer's installation instructions, this sink came with a bag or a sack, and it had brackets in it that go around the edge of the sink and hold it up here. And that's too much work. Let's just put some sticks in it, Philip. Let's go to the beer store. Oh, Doug, you're the fastest guy in the shop. I know. I'm getting a raise next week. That's the way we do it. Put a couple of drywall screws in there, put a stick in there. These 2 sticks is what's holding your sink up, by the way. This is a 1/2 horsepower food waste disposal, so you can put a switch out of sight. Code says the switch for your food waste disposal should be within sight while you're operating it, so you don't have your hand down there trying to fish out a ring or something and get your hand all chewed up. That sounds like horrible, bud. I know, and that's why they say it shouldn't be within sight. What supersedes code? Manufacturer's installation instructions. Manufacturer says that as long as it's less than 1 horsepower, then you can put the switch underneath here. Okay, this is a 1/2 horsepower. That's fine. You put a 1 horsepower, this switch isn't any good. But 1/3, 5/8, 3/4, quarter, take your pick, 1/2 horsepower. That's fine. Having the switch underneath here is fine. Having a rocker switch is not fine. The manufacturer, who says that this switch is okay, manufacturer says that this should not use a rocker switch. It should have they call them handles. It should be one of those little old ugly switches that says off and on. And I often wonder, could I just write off on this and write on that and that would be okay? I often wonder that. Maybe, I don't know. So now this electric cable, when they installed this electric cable, it should be in a conduit. All right, And then this is not GFCI protected. Okay, it's supposed to be. When they install, this house was built in 1981 or whatever, you know, whenever they told us that they built it, 2000. This house was built, well, when it wasn't required to be GFCI. I get that. But I also get that this kitchen's been remodeled. This kitchen has been remodeled. When you remodel a kitchen, it's supposed to be brought up to the most current code applicable. And they didn't. This is the drain for your food waste disposal. And we do not have an anti-siphon loop. And of course the disposal. The dishwasher is, it looks like it might be hardwired in. I don't know. But I cannot find a separate switch. I've heard that if you have a plug behind the dishwasher, and I've heard from the board of plumbing that or electricity. I talked to a bunch of people about it, and everybody was just like, you know, nobody got an answer. We didn't end up with anything, but some conversation. But if there's a plug behind this dishwasher, that would serve as the service switch for it. But my contention is, and I always lose this battle, but this door, you take this apart to work on the panel, so you got to turn the power off. That's my contention, and we do not have GFCI protection on that. We don't have GFCI protection on our clothes dryer. We don't have GFCI protection for our clothes washer. We do not have GFCI protection for our refrigerator. I already mentioned that, I believe. And this guy's just a droopy. He's just a droopy. Come on. And then we do that again. Okay, how's that work? It's on. Off. Clever. Okay. All the burners work, but you know what I can't find? I can't find a shut-off valve. If you've got a problem in your stove, it's leaking, you're trying to turn the gas off, the only way I know you can get the gas off is to go outside to the meter on the other side of that window right there. Alright, this fan actually vents to the exterior like it's supposed to. The fan actually comes on like it's supposed to. The lights work like they're supposed to. So that's pretty good. I saw a range and a microwave in the advertisements for this house. Interesting. Now, what happened when this house was built, before the drywall was put up, what happened was that these boxes behind here, behind these places, these boxes were set out, offset, away from the studs, so that the drywall could fit around them, and the plates would fit on there, and they'd be nice and tight, and everything would be perfect. Alright? So then we came along here, we added this big nice splashback. It looks great. Quartz looking type stuff. I don't know exactly what the material is. But now we got a big old gap. They sell these things called extenders. I heard a code inspector call it a spark suppression ring, and he sounded like he knew what he was talking about. Most tradespeople call them goof rings because that's what they think about them. But if this box melts down, there's nothing to keep the fire from working its way out of the box into your wall. And they cost about $3. And you know they're going to charge you sales tax. That's how they get you. But for $3, $6, $9, $12, okay, they're going to charge you more. They're going to get you sales tax, whatever. But really, for $15, $20, it could have been made right. For $15 or $20, it could have been made right. But we didn't need to. You don't need to bother with that. And the same thing, we need another one over here, so you might as well call it 20 because we should have an extension there. That's open. That's open. No. This is not the way. All right. The only thing keeping you from getting shocked is that cap right there. This is like a snake. Wow, coming out to get you. Oh. All right. Closed door vent, exhausts directly into the attic. The drain, I'm just wanting a drain over here, drain pattern fitting. I was talking about a air admittance valve, those kinds of things. Something, but this plumbing, the drain goes into the ground, but the vent that comes up, it vents sewer gases directly into the attic.